and good day, friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This is the Comp Queen with me, Cassi DeHaas. I'm very excited to be here with you for another week of comping live. So, I'll just go over a couple of typical housekeeping items. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to my partner, the King Closer, Mr. RJ Bates III. Very proud of him here. Can't stop talking about it. If you did not attend or watch the Closers Olympics, RJ won, and he is the King Closer. He's officially been crowned. We're very excited about that around here. It's been a very exciting week. And just to go through the couple of housekeeping items. What we do here, if you are new, we comp live. We comp live, and I'm very excited to be comping live. I want to give you guys as much resources, so I'll comp your comps if you put the information in the chat. I'll have comps to pull live as examples, and we'll just go over your basic principles, your tools. But we comp nationwide around here all day, every day. That's what we do. We're all over the place. Show off some of the tools and how we do it, as well as being a good resource for you guys to get better at comping in new markets when you're not necessarily existing in those markets. That's what a lot of people who are in multiple markets tend to struggle with when they go into new markets. And it's something that we definitely encourage for our Titanium Crucible students, as well as anybody who's in this game. We're here, we're putting out the resources, we're putting out the information, so that we can better this industry. It's been game changing for us, life changing for us. We are in love with real estate in all of its forms, and so we're excited to be able to have this platform and be a good resource for you guys. So I'll give a little shout out to a couple of my Titans that I see on here. My Guy Hodges, is so good to see you, sir, from the great state of Texas. Howdy. Lori, not your child by any means. You are not old enough to be my mama, but I'm still call you Lori until you correct me. I saw that comment earlier on RJ's live. It was funny. Good to see you, my dear. Facebook user, hi. If you are not registered on StreamYard, I can't see who you are, so I won't be able to address you directly. And I see that you've already put a comp down here, which is fantastic for me to look at. But if you register for StreamYard with your name, I can then see who it is specifically. And you guys, if you we are on one YouTube channel right here. So some of you may not necessarily be friends with me on social media. You can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, however that looks. Make sure you spell my name right. I'll put it up here, or it's in the headline, I believe. So congratulations to the King Closer. He's he's phenomenal, isn't he? I'm so proud to have other people know what I've known for years and years, and everybody here at Titanium has known for a long time. RJ is absolutely a beast, is he not? I mean, come on, this guy. I love him. He's done so much good just from the Closers Olympics, in and of itself, showcasing the skills that he's built up over the years, as well as a very unique style, and a lot of great people in there with great great skills that they're showing off. Naaman, look at Naaman. He is he is a beast, man. Like, this guy is going to pop off. Like, I can already tell you. I knew it the moment I met him. Good day, Mr. Best. Good to see you, sir. Yeah, so congratulations to our guy, Mr. Bates. We're very proud of him around here. All right. I'm just writing down a couple of comps, and then I want to Cook West Street, St. Paul, Minnesota. Gene Blinkoff, Naaman is definitely a crucible beast. Ya dang Skippy. Gene is our guy too. It's my buddy. Hi Beth, it's so good to see you. Good to have you here. Oh, all my sweethearts, all my sweethearts. Veteran buys properties. I'm Nicole from Texas. I'm so glad to see you joining us today on this live. Oh, let me correct this address before I actually get into pulling comps because we had accidentally typoed. So when we start going through, and y'all have to forgive me. I want to write these down. We keep saying we're going to get a moderator so that I can not pause to write this down and lose them in the feed. But this is one of those things. We got all kinds of people up in here. Woof. I might need a moderator. Team. Start messaging me juniors and queens over here, okay? I've got the first 3 written down. I'll go through as many as I possibly can. Honestly, sometimes we are comping more difficult comps on this show, which I want to continue to do if you guys are having them. But a lot of times they're not as straight and narrow, so they take a little bit longer to go through as well as teach at the same time. So I'm trying to speed up that process, but also make sure that I'm showcasing exactly step by step what I'm doing for you guys. So, veteran buys properties. Ooh, wee. Katy, Texas. I know all about that. All right, guys. A few key principles I want to go over before we start digging in is, the whole goal here is to comp like an appraiser. Sometimes this isn't as literal as we would all like it to be, right? So one of our Titans who happens to be on this thread, I'm going to use an example that they gave us this week regarding a pool, because they're sitting there doing their homework and they're following and they're learning and they're pouring into themselves and they're getting better and they're asking questions when they have them, and that is absolutely fantastic. But sometimes when you're learning and you're growing and you take things very specifically, you take it one way when it can be looked at, a couple of different angles. So as I go over like the kind of basic principles on appraisal, I'll bring up things like plus or minus $10,000 for a pool. If a property has a pool and it needs a repair, or if you're saying maybe it's in such bad shape, we should get rid of the pool. That doesn't necessarily mean plus or minus 10,000 on your appraisal. That would be a rehab cost, right? So if all of your comps have pools, it's plus or minus 10,000, right? Plus or minus for bedrooms and bathrooms. You have a price per square foot that we'll go over, things like that, garages. Those things are really important for you to look at. And then we also have to consider basement and finished out attic space. And so those are some key principles, since we are comping nationwide, that I want you guys to remember, that I want you guys to keep in mind as we are going through the comps. And as you're out there in the real world, not comping with me on these lives, you can add social media. And if you're really stuck on something, I do try to make as much time as I can. Obviously, if you're a Titan, you know how to do that. Get in on that hotline and some number verification as quickly as possible. So all of that to say, yes, I will just look into these comps. You guys have sent in quite a few for me today. So I want to get to it and get it done as quickly as possible. RJ just bought the White House. Raleigh, my biggest fan, is here. And hey, if you guys are seeing at all. I'm seeing the comments come through. I'm seeing, but we're having a little tech difficulties. So I'm seeing my screen blink in and out. If you guys are not seeing a smooth feed, please let me know in the comments because they don't seem to be having problems. And I just want to make sure that we're not blinking in and out from what you guys are seeing. I want to keep going on my live at the scheduled time, but if we are having technical difficulties on your end, I apologize. Please let me know because I may just still go through, but we may just schedule an additional episode this week if you guys aren't getting what I'm trying to put out there for you. All right. Let's see what we got here. 251 Wilman. Lori, you're very, very, very welcome. I'm definitely that's what I'm here for, sister. I am here for it. Wilman Avenue. All right, let's dig in, you guys. It's a little choppy. It might be your internet. Okay. You cannot see my screen. Can you see me on screen, Facebook user? Audio is not the best, but video is fine. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Y'all let me know because it's hard for me to determine if that's a me or you thing. So hopefully someone on my team out there has got eyeballs out. And worst case scenario, if we have to reschedule once we figure out what the issue is, we will go live again because I'm not going anywhere. But I want to get these for you guys. Want to get to comping. So you can get them as quickly as possible. Red deer circles. Mm-hmm. 39, 32. Man. Randallstown, Maryland. All right. You guys, let me know. Patrick, good. That's good. That makes me feel good. So if y'all are personally having any internet issues, move around. I'm coming up fine on my end. Albeit a little slow when I switch screens. But I think it's looking pretty good. All right, so let's just dig into these bad boys and do our best. Okay, well, that's pulling up. We're going to go back here. I often talk about these filters. I'm going to go through it really quick. Please feel free to ask questions if it's too fast for you guys, because I do kind of cover these things every week. A lot of times, one of the principles I go to, especially if it's an older build, is I go a lot further out on the build years in these default settings. You can reset your default settings, but this is just what they automatically do. I'm going to ignore that really fast. I just kind of like to look for it through the actual list view on year built. These are all pretty similar. So I just ignore that and I want to see what else I've got. But sometimes when it's already pulled up right here, I may just keep it. But plus or minus 10 years is a little tight for me in a lot of places. So it's just my automatic. I might just go out to 30, ignore, keep that if I'm seeing enough comps. And I might even just narrow this down a little bit if I'm seeing consistent data like I am down here to be sure. Okay. So I just kind of reset those filters. Okay, can you see me now? Facebook user, this is what I see. Facebook user. So every Facebook user that is not in there. All right. So this property here is listed on the market. So we're going to go really fast through this. I'm not 100% whose property this was, but I am assuming that this is pretty much listed for what it should sell for if they have hired a realtor. I'm just going to go in and verify that. In multiple places. What I like to do, and I'm sorry I'm going back and forth between PropStream and Batch right now pretty quickly, but it is taking a long time to sort. So you'll just have to forgive me. What I'm looking at right here with my set filters, I don't know if this is or is not listed on the MLS currently, if that information is accurate, but it says it is in PropStream. So I'm probably going to immediately go out. One of the things is if I have a bunch of properties right here to comp in this neighborhood, those are my immediate comps. I don't like to go over here or over here when I'm seeing more major roads if I don't have to, because there's a solid chance that these are way more accurate comps that will show up on an appraisal. I don't like to cross railroads tracks, bodies of water, parks, golf courses, things like that. When you don't do that until you are forced to do that, essentially, is what I'm telling you. And that's another reason, you guys, why I ignore build years and things like that. I'm looking straight in here to do condo and townhouse because that is what we're dealing with. And that's something you always want to check. Batch is really good about this, you guys. It whereas the automatic defaults, as you saw, until I clicked townhouse, we had all kinds of options here. So back to this comp that we believe is possibly listed on the MLS. It is a 4.3.5. We do have a little bit more bed and bath on the like, I don't have to mess with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to not have a view on what our what our comps are because it's 11 years older. You see what I'm saying? If it's a good comp, it's a good comp, you know? And a lot of times when you're comping correctly with the rest of the principles, you're not going to really see that. I like to go a little bit broader and I like to see our what our range is, you know, and look at the year built right there. See what the market can sustain and see if it makes a difference because sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't. We have one right here that's 280, right? And we have a newer one in 2012 and 2002. Okay, well, we might not be at 295 because of that build year. And what an appraiser is going to do is not completely discount this property, but it's just going to take off credit for the fact that it's a newer property. Just like if it has more square footage, it's going to subtract by build year on an appraisal. So yeah, I do bust it wide open. I mean, I'm not saying there's not times where I don't go back, obviously. So for me, sometimes like area as far as the build years, gave up on the Facebook feed, YouTube. Okay, I'm still getting really bad delays and blackouts on my screen, so I apologize, you guys. I'm doing my best here to try to make sure you can still see me and hear me, but I'm still seeing those comments come through. Anyways, going back to it, I am looking at the fact that, yeah, I mean, I might take this off because I have really good information there, but an appraiser is still probably going to put that on an appraisal. You know what you want to see happening, by assuming, okay, we got 280, 280, 240. Again, the first thing I'm going to do on this, you guys, is I'm going to go see, hey, is this listed on the MLS for real right now? It says active, 10 days on market. I don't know that I've seen that be wrong. And that's just, I go and click. Nine days on market. I mean, I would assume right out of the gates, my loves, this is pretty clean. It's listed lower than what it might be able to sell for. So, I mean, I might go in here and just look at these comps. Yeah, Sterling, absolutely. He says, I need to make slight adjustments on the price when the year build is newer. Yeah, and it's just on that one comp, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it really just tends to average out, you know what I'm saying? You can make a slight adjustment there, but you can also adjust it up because we have one more bedroom than that one comp, you know? You want to start looking to see, are these comparable outside and inside? I mean, from the street view, it looks like it. On the inside, looks like this property might be a little bit more quote unquote up to date or have been updated newer. So, I mean, it makes sense why we're listed at 250. I personally might have listed this a little bit higher if it has the same features, such as that back patio, so on and so forth. But I mean, you have a local realtor's opinion on this price. Some of these built-ins, might be staying with the property. On this one that sold, a little bit more updated. I think it also had a little bit more square. So that probably has a lot to do with it. A little bit more square footage on these than this.
We've got it pulled up in here.
You guys can see it fine?
You're crystal clear.
Watch what happens. My screen keeps blacking out on here, so I'm thinking they can't see me.
Just keep going.
YouTube is way better than the Facebook feed. Just an FYI, YouTube is better, and y'all hit those like buttons, smash buttons, follow buttons, okay? Because so RJ just came in here to confirm, just in case y'all haven't caught on to this. Part of the reason I keep pausing is just because my screen keeps blacking out. So I think that you guys are not able to actually see my screen share or see me on video. And so RJ was confirming that with me by watching me out in the other room, because I was like, Lord Jesus, I was just saying, it's bad luck for me to wear my hair up. It doesn't present as well. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking I'm not even presenting this as well. Okay. So Red Deer Circle. Yeah, I mean, I think our question is pretty much answered here. It's listed on the MLS. I think it's a good price for the property in the condition that it's in. So I say that comp is ready to rock and roll. Could possibly be listed maybe 10 grand higher. I would dig into some of those additional features like St. Paul. So we'll dig into this next property here. This one's for you. You have it under contract for 210. Looks like the realtor has not. Oh, I see what you're saying. You have a realtor on your team and it's listed on this property here. I think you have it listed at a competitive price. I mean, 250 makes sense, plus or minus. Now, we can dig into this right here. It's been listed for 9 days. Oh, this one's pretty cute on the outside. I mean, but yeah, it looks like it's a good list price for the property. I'd say so. Your realtor probably did a good job there. And I wasn't trying to be dismissive as far as, it goes. I'm just like looking at it. I'm like, I think it's a pretty good list. I think whoever listed it at a competitive list price. And that's where you want to be, guys. You don't want to try to be listing anything that you do in this 295 range to see if it'll stick unless you're willing to wait. I don't know the population of Randallstown. I would look that up. Look up your days on market, things like that. And you can do that by saving the comps and doing a comp report. The average days on market for the ones that have sold. To see, what you're hitting there. But yeah, I think that's a good list price on that. That is my assessment. All right, let's try to show off a couple of these tools, how we comp them. Man, I keep running into this problem on Propelio.
Look, you're fine.
I think we're going to have to reschedule it because it literally all just shut down.
No, you're fine. You're live.
How have I been live?
You're
Back.
back.
Are you guys still with me? Oh, so glad we do this live. I see you live. You sound choppy at times, but you're live. Okay. Thank you.
What? What is my body carrying the Wi-Fi?
Would you just stand there for me?
There's-
It keeps freezing for you, Junior. Thank you. Okay.
It's freezing on your side right now.
Oh, I have somebody on the phone. I love my people. You guys, I don't know. Why it keeps freezing, but I'm a trooper and I'm here for you guys, so I'm gonna keep going until it tells me connection lost again. And again, we can always do another episode. I'm here for it. I'm here for you guys. This is your time. So RJ the king closer and Wi-Fi conductor. Like, can my conduit come back? Oh, I love it so much. Hi, Matt. How are you, honey? Oh, well, you know what they say about authenticity. It's what people fall in love with about you. And you should not try to create document your journey. Victoria, honey, I'm so sorry, but you can go to our YouTube channel. I think everybody's getting a clearer connection on that end. I'm so sorry. I don't really know why it keeps going out, and I hate for you to not be able to see it live. So we're just gonna chug along here. Properties in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi Matthew, so good to see you. So we'll keep chugging along and doing our best. We have Batch to go with now. It's our only one that's showing up, so we're going with Batch right now. And we're gonna dig in. So again, you have your set defaults. Sold in the last 12 months. I usually keep that with the older property, especially in 1884. I just straight, like Sterling said, bust it open on that build year. We have several comps without kind of crossing these major roads right here. Those are going to be what I focus in on first and foremost. I like to go immediately right into that condition. I like to go to that Google Street View. I like to lay eyes on exactly what I'm comping here. The most electrifying man in real estate. I love it. Will, I can answer your question. You have a property in New Orleans and you want to know what we would try to resell it at. We pretty much go ahead and we need more information for that, as far as condition, occupancy, so on and so forth, in order for us to actually run numbers, other than just comps themselves. So I can answer that question with more information. Just an address, you guys, does not give me enough information to give you a good answer. I can put a guess on it from the street view, But if you know if it's in good, scary, bad, ugly condition, occupancy status, we look at rent rates, we look at like that location and all that good stuff. So, all right, back to Cook Street in St. Paul. We've got it was purchased at 100,000. This is one of the reasons that I go ahead and oh, it's a vacant lot. Got you. I open up those build years and look how many comps I have, because there's probably a lot of comps that were built in like 1920, right close to this, that aren't going to really make a difference. So I'm just going to filter that down just a little bit more there. Yeah, I can look into that property as well. You might have to send it to me in a messenger, because we got about 10 people in line ahead of you. Hi, Roger. So good to see you. All right. So again, I'm gonna filter those out, and then I am gonna go in here and I'm just gonna hit this little distance button, because it just changes the list order up for me, right? So I'm then going to check out my photos on my properties that I'm assuming are our repaired, remodeled properties, which is, I've got pretty consistent data from 187 all the way to 230. So that's what I'm going to focus in on. I'm going to see if they look like a good blueprint property for us. I mean, this is not overdone here. It's a 4-1, 12 square feet. I'm going to click out of that. I'm going to verify. We've got one more bedroom, same amount of bathroom, but we have like a little bit more square footage on this, right? On this one right here, which is the first one I dug into, we got a couple hundred more square feet. So we have to be cognizant of that. That's why this would be a 200 versus why we might have less, because we have a lower price per square foot. I'm not gonna select necessarily this one because I'm assuming it needs some work, but that is something I'll often go in and verify, you guys. Yeah, you can just tell right from the outside, but click through those photos real fast. Yeah, this would be like a more as-is condition. That's why it sold for 125 compared to what it could have sold for. Looks livable. Might do the same thing with this 150. 973. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Keep that in mind. That less square footage, less bedrooms, less bathroom, not modern updates. Floors look okay in some of it, like they might need to be redone. But these are as-is condition type of properties, not what I want to consider in an after repair value comp. But let me be very clear when I say this. That does not mean that that's not valuable information. If you're trying to sell a property higher than as is comps in the same condition, you know you're going to have a hard time selling that, right? So, again, I like to deselect all. I like to pick the comps that I like for it. I still look into those as is comps. I want to dig into this $230,000 comp, 3-1, 181 square foot, couple hundred more square feet. Again, that's okay, because you do get a price per square foot selected. We're coming in at 180 net right now is what we're averaging out, paying attention to our lot size, our build years. I don't think this makes that big of a difference when their houses are this old. See what I'm saying? But you can definitely tell some of those things. You're going to get discounted a little bit on it on an appraisal for sure. However, it does not mean it's not a comp. That's why they have multiple comps on an appraisal. I mean, this thing is clean, but it is not that fancy. I mean, I know that carpet probably looked a little bit funky to you, but it was very textured carpet. It wasn't dirty. And I was clicking through those photos really quickly. My messages. I'm liking so far very much these numbers that I'm getting right here. So I think a very low end is 175. A very high end is probably like 220, because you got to keep in mind you're coming down from these numbers with a square footage. We're averaging at 185, but I think that's probably low because we're talking about having some more updates here. A lot of our comps here don't have that second bathroom. The one that does is this 175. So understand you're going to get credit for that. I mean, this thing is not overly fancy. So then the last thing that I want to do when I'm doing this is I want to end up clicking on these property details, right? And this is one of the things I do like. If I could get it to load. This is one of those things I do like to do over here on PropStream. But when PropStream ain't loading, when PropStream is not loading, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You can add these to a list, you can export the comps, and you can email the comps, right? So that is not what I wanted to do. A lot of times I'm going to want to go click on these property details on the properties that I've selected. And for me, and this could just be a me thing, I haven't really easily figured out how to do that in batch without doing this. I have to go like hunt it down on the map, right? And then click those details right there. Good morning, sir. Do you prefer batch or PropStream? Yeah, let me answer that here in a second because there's no right answer to that. So what's interesting about this is this is pulled in an algorithm, just like your Zestimate or Z estimate, as some people call it. I don't even know the proper way to say that, but it sold for more than that already. When you go and you look into those property details, I like to click into the property details to look at like, hey, not applicable on a garage, plus or minus 10. Not applicable on a pool. Does ours have a pool? Plus or minus 10. I like to look and see about the basement square footage, things like that. And you get a lot of that information on this property details page. And what I was going to show you right here, and to answer Junior's question, if I had to choose one right now between batch or PropStream or Propelio, I would have a really hard time choosing. I personally use batch probably a little bit more than anything nowadays when I'm working out of batch. My team uses batch more so than they use prop stream. But understand we're doing all of our marketing out of batch, and I love prop stream a lot. Batch is always doing this thing, right? Are you ready for this thing that they're always doing? They're doing this thing called updates constantly to always make their product better. And every time they come out with an update, I'm just like, I'm finding less and less reasons to go anywhere else. But I'm used to prop stream. But there's times when prop stream I can't pull the data in a certain market, or it was that case with batch, as we're seeing on Propelio today. We've been having trouble like the past week every time we try to pull a comp on Propelio. I think that we utilize all of these tools for very good reasons because we're nationwide. We're comping all over the place. It's going to be very hard for me to choose. It's going to be very hard for me to ever get rid of one, but I love the batch comp tool. It's been very impressive to me how many fantastic features they update. And at one point in time, I will say it was going to be hard pressed to get me away from prop stream. Like that's the God's hand to God's truth. I love them all. Anyhow, so getting back to 70 Cook Avenue, what I'm doing right here is you know how I clicked that one thing? It has a full basement. It has what that's doing is I'm going to go into those details. And so right there, that's one of the features I'm going to like submit to batch unless they did it. They just did an update on this a week ago. Right now, I'm so used to trying to find the property on the map to click the details. And I would love, and I'm going to submit this over to them if they're not, they're probably already working on it. I would love to click on it right here, just like you do the photos, because I work heavily off of the list. RJ himself works heavily off the map like this. I definitely am just used to navigating it the other way, so it might be a personal preference. I can say I'm very glad to have this feature right here because then I can click it right here, click it right here. That's why RJ likes to work off of the map. I mean, we're looking at these things, and sometimes instead of doing this number, which I hope you guys can see that okay, that's what RJ does. He's like, my comps right here, like boom, 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 right? And I know in their update, they are putting in a way for you to like check this one so that it's checked on your list. So I know there's a couple of updates that they are working on, but that might be the save button. No, that goes back to your saving the properties. So again, I think that those are probably a couple of updates that they're working on. And so sometimes when I say, I like this feature navigationally over here, especially when I'm teaching comps live, it makes it a lot easier and faster for me to teach those comps live. I already know every time I bring something up, they're like, yep, we know. We're working on it. We're adding that feature, la-di-da. So it's pretty fantastic what they do over there. And I love both of the tools very dearly. I use them both every day of my life. Propelio every day of my life until like the past week. Something is going on with our account. I will say a lot of times I click in prop stream and I can't get those photos, and I can on batch. So for me, sometimes it's just a toss up. It depends on the market that we're in. If you're in a market that one works really well all of the time, You're used to it, stick with it. But we're all over the place. So, going back to this comp at 175, it also has a full basement. And I don't believe it has a garage. So we would get like a $10,000 credit, putting this one right up to 185, right? By credit, I just mean on an appraisal. In case, yeah, if you guys aren't catching that. Also here you can go and hit both public MLS and public record. I don't always do that when I've got really consistent data that I'm already seeing over here on batch. I mean, this is 182,000. This is already listed in order of distance right now. I have not changed that. We've already verified like a lot of these are not as updated, so on and so forth. I really like these ones because they're in our subdivision. They give me really good information. This one is like an as is. But obviously, we can go outside of our subdivision here. See what I'm saying? Location on the map, as long as the properties look comparable. We're going to come back up here. We're going to look at this on 100 Hatch. I don't think we dug into this one. I love how this one's clean. They've kept a lot of the original character in that woodwork and really updated this property. This is a really solid comp, but it said it was a 2-bedroom, right? So a lot of times you're going to run into, as this pulls up, you're going to run into listings that might have a bedroom in the basement or things like that. And you want to hit them up on those property details. Well, we're going to go back on here because that's just taking too darn long. So we were looking at this comp in 100 Hatch really fast. There we go. Detached garage, full basement. Let's look at those MLS details. Let's see what that listing says. Garage roof is older. It's detached. Interesting. I'm not thinking that information's correct. 210. I mean, I'm really liking this for a comp. This is making me go What can you do? What can you do other than laugh?
The wind's blowing a certain direction at 27 miles an hour, okay?
Would you just stand here and let me finish my comps?
Bring the Wi-Fi with me.
He brings the Wi-Fi back. Oh my honeys, I am doing my best here to not be as choppy as our internet while I'm dealing with internet issues and still serve you guys. I'm not as smooth as RJ when I have technology issues. I am when I'm closing, but not when I have technology issues. I'm like, if this goes out again, I am rescheduling this for tomorrow. It didn't even happen. It didn't even happen. All right, my loves. Thank you for your patience. I don't know why it's doing this. It's making me want to cry a little.